right, people are getting very tense and upset with what's going on in this market right here, and I want to break down for you exactly what I'm seeing. By the end of this video, you're going to have a very, very clear understanding of where we are in this market, and unfortunately, this video is not going to give you what you want. I will tell you the big important things that I see happening with Bitcoin right now and why we could be super bullish and why we could be super bearish, because analysis is not about making definite conclusions, it is about balancing probabilities. Here we go. This YouTube channel is here to give you the truth. We're not about crystal balls and telling you that something is going to happen because Michael Saylor picked his fucking nose. I'm going to tell you what the probabilities are and how I'm seeing them way up, and then let you make your own conclusions. And the first thing that I really want to touch on right now is that I think people are getting really scared in this market right now. I don't even think that the Fear and Greed Index is reflecting this accurately right now with a reading of 25. Now, obviously, it's out of date. I mean, we have to wait another 5 hours for a new reading, but we're going to see this drop down a lot, right? I mean, for the first time now, people are really talking seriously about Bitcoin entering a bear market, and now we're going down to 30K, and it's just getting absolutely shit. And I made a video just yesterday about a $9,000 Bitcoin, partly to gauge sentiment and see what the response was to that video, because I pretty much immediately said I don't think Bitcoin is actually going to do that, and we're really starting to see that sentiment shift towards the negative side of things, right? I mean, if we look at the funding rates as well, and we look at this on the daily time frame, you know, I mean, they're pretty bullish right now, in that like they're showing that a lot of people are really starting to take up short positions again in similar intensity to what we saw down on this drop right here and at similar price levels. So, you know, look. Here's the deal, right? Without wasting any more time, Bitcoin is in a range right now where it's consolidating. It's plain and simple, ladies and gents. It is consolidating. You know, I mean, we started, and I want to just section off the chart right now so we can understand this very, very clearly. From this red line and onwards, Bitcoin entered a bear market, right? It entered a downtrend, and a downtrend can be, you know, trading down by 5%, or it can be trading down by 40%, but it entered a downtrend. And we know this because it's characterized by a series of trending markets versus consolidation or continuation patterns, and then trending again, and then a continuation pattern, and trending again, and a continuation pattern. But the thing to keep in mind is that not all continuation patterns are the same. You know, usually when we're trending down, we form these staircase steps that you always hear me talking about, and then we make the next leg down, right? So a classic example of that is bam right here, move down, bam, staircase step, and then another move down. This is the most classic way that Bitcoin breaks down or moves up. We do it on the way up as well all the time, right? So a classic example of this is, you know, we're moving up pretty much in a straight line on the, you know, let's say the daily chart, for example, you know, moving up pretty aggressively, just like this, and then we form the staircase step and we move back up. They're not staircase steps, I just say this to make them very easy to understand. This is what you would call a falling wedge, to be more accurate, right? But it doesn't really matter what the word is. What matters is that we understand what's happening, and that gives us a very clear understanding of it. Now, the thing to keep in mind, though, is that when we form these staircase steps, what we're really doing is the trend is down, and we're temporarily fighting the trend. We're temporarily fighting the trend, giving the bulls a chance to have a bit of a reaction rally, giving the bulls a chance to buy up some Bitcoin at high prices and then inevitably sell them at lower prices, because that's what losing traders do. They buy high and they sell low, and it's giving them a chance to basically get screwed in this market. Now, when we enter a range like this, what we're really doing here is we're continuing the sell-off. This is something really important I want you to keep in mind. What we've done in this market right now is, and we've done it twice, we moved down, and then and I'll draw this down a little bit like this, and then we moved down again, but slower, and then we moved down again, but quickly, and now we're moving down again, but slower, right? And if I show you what this looks like, this is the move down, this is the first slow move down, this is the second big move down, and now we're in the second slow move down. And what's really important to understand about this, and again, what I've covered quite a few times on this channel, shout out to those of you who are subscribed, who are hitting up the like button and showing this channel all the amazing support that you've been giving it recently, is that this is an indication of the sell-off continuing but getting weaker. And we can tell this with a few different indicators, right? Crypto Kirby, by the way, just made a video. You guys know he's one of my favorite analysts in the space and has been for years. And he just made a video, Crypto Kirby of all people, quite a bullish video, talking about how Bitcoin's showing some fairly bullish signs right now, and it is. I've been covering them on this YouTube channel as well. The exact same sign that Crypto Kirby talked about actually is something that I've been talking about for a fair while now, is that Bitcoin has these bullish divergences right now, right? The RSI is trending up. It's setting higher lows and higher highs on the RSI, while the price is in a divergence with that. And we call this a bullish divergence. When the RSI is moving up, but the price is moving down, there is a divergence, and it's bullish. It's a hidden bullish divergence. That's the full name. You can Google it. Hidden bullish divergence. This is a sign where the RSI is showing us that the market is gaining relative strength. It's the relative strength index. So if it's moving up, it means the market is getting stronger, relatively speaking. And the price is dropping, so it's misleading us. This is a really, really important thing to keep in mind right now, because again, as we're starting to see these funding rates show us that so many people are trading the downside and not many people are trading the upside right now, I think that really gives us a very clear view into exactly what's going on in the market. We're starting to see a situation now where, again, a lot of people are potentially about to get absolutely fucked. Look, I want to make this very, very clear to you guys right now. I still think that there's space for downward price movement on this chart. I still think that Bitcoin could be in for quite a nasty other drop, perhaps down to $40,000. It's entirely possible, right? But, and this is a very big but, right now, we've moved down continuously since we hit $69,000 without a single real reaction rally. And you guys hear me saying this when the price goes up, and you hear me saying it when the price goes down, right? Those of you who've been subscribed to this channel for a long time know me very well, where I do not carry out biased analysis in this way. When the market goes up, I say we need to correct by dropping down. When the market goes down, I say that we need to correct by trending up. And so far, we have dropped by about 40% from high to low, and I don't know, maybe 35% from high to current price without a single real reaction rally. And ladies and gents, what it boils down to right now, in my opinion, right here in this market today, is that we've got these early warning signs of being in a potentially bullish setup. Not only do we have that RSI bullish divergence, we also have a pattern which is quite bullish overall, because what I've been saying, to go back to my original point before this whole tangent on this YouTube channel, is that when we form these kind of patterns, right, where the market is trending down very quickly and then starts trending down but slowly, this is a display of momentum shifting. We see it with the RSI. What is the RSI indicator at the end of the day? It is a momentum indicator. If you Google what type of indicator is the RSI, it's a momentum indicator. And so this is a sign of momentum shifting. Whereas previously momentum was showing us that the market was losing strength, now it's showing us that the market is gaining strength. And the only reason that you're starting to see this sign right here showing us that the market is gaining strength is because the dump, the sell-off, was previously very strong, and now it's just not so strong. And this is a very, very clear display of the market losing strength. And again, I give you this typical analogy of, to the upside, it's a little bit more easy to understand, where you're rising up very quickly. You got a missile, even let's not say a missile, let's say you got a football rising up really, really quickly. Someone's kicked it up in the air. It's gonna rise with a trajectory that looks a little bit like this, and then it will rapidly drop in pretty much a straight line. That's what we tend to see, where it kind of gradually gains more altitude but less and less as time goes on, and then eventually it just drops down like a ball. It's the same in the inverse when we're trading in a downtrend, right? And that's what this pattern represents. And especially when we start seeing it, when we zoom in a little bit more, that the price range is actually narrowing. It is the clearest example of the market getting ready to potentially break to the upside. Now, of course, like with everything, it's not that simple. And what I need to make you guys very, very well aware of right now in this market is that Bitcoin already formed one of these patterns right here. Bitcoin did pretty much the same thing, and it massively screwed up the opportunity, and it didn't end up working out, right? This is a very similar pattern. It's a little bit more of a descending triangle, so it is inherently more bearish than what we have right now, but you can say that we're in a descending triangle again right now if you draw it this way. So I just want to, again, I want to cover all bases. You can very well say that we're in a descending triangle if you draw our support line like this. I don't know, I think this is cheating because, you're kind of drawing the first resistance point from here, and there was no, support hit at this point. So really your descending triangle starts kind of right around over here, and that's quite a small descending triangle. I mean, that's basically just a 5-day descending triangle, no, a little bit more than an 8-day descending triangle. It's really not that big in my opinion, but you could say we have another descending triangle. My point is, look, I think it's pretty clear, most of you will agree with me, it's just not a very strong one compared to this one right here. This is still a similar pattern, but it ended up breaking down, but it was also a much more clear descending triangle. That's my key point that I want to get across to you right now. Now, obviously, you can see that I'm starting to paint a little bit of a bullish picture for Bitcoin, but don't get excited yet. Don't get that lotion out yet. You're not going to be able to rub yourself off for too long in this video, because I am going to have to shut down this hype in just a minute. And again, just stick around for that. And guys, as I'm going along, if you are finding this video useful, if it's already calmed you down and explained to you a little bit more about how this market could be moving and giving you a deeper insight into what you've been looking at and being very confused staring at this market, now that you're watching the Fourth Place channel, we're easing how you feel, do me a favor, smash up those likes, subscribe, tick the bell if you haven't done so already. If you want to watch me trading in real time, you want to gain access to my Four Flies Academy course, where I'm teaching you absolutely everything I know about trading so you can analyze in my style, you can trade in my style, then you can follow these steps on screen to get all the information on exactly what we're doing, and this will take you to a direct chat with me, and if I don't reply to you, one of my assistants will. And by the way, that $4,100 bonus with Bybit is still ongoing right now. So if you haven't already gotten your free $4,100 before this offer ends, go ahead, click on the link in the description now to make your first to sign up to Bybit and make your first Bitcoin deposit. If you already have an account, no problem, you can make a new one, get your free money, and you can do whatever you like with your deposit afterwards. You can withdraw it if you want to as well, but it's well worth checking out, and it is time sensitive, so it's not something you can just sit around and wait for. $4,100 up for grabs just for you for being a viewer of this channel. So here we go, back to the video. Like I said, we did end up breaking down from this one already. Now, look, here's the thing is, I don't see this happening twice in a row. It's more, put it this way, we are more likely to, all right, sorry about that, the recording crapped out, but as I was saying, the lower we drop, the more likely we are to rise, because, oh wow, look at that, Bitcoin already kind of starting to rise up a little bit now. The lower we the higher chance we have to rise up again, because I mean, we just don't typically see huge sell-offs that last forever, right? It's almost like if I'm saying to you, the probability of a car crashing goes up the higher the speed gets, right? Or the probability of you losing control, for example. And the reason that this is important, right, is that I don't think that Bitcoin is actually going to be in anything close to a bear market, because we've been able to sustain minus 40% drops a lot. And again, this is another thing I've been talking about on the channel for a while. So if you haven't heard me talking about it, it's probably because you're not subscribed, you're not engaging with these videos enough to tell the algorithm that you want to see them. But this is a minus 38% rise, and I just want to take a very quick minute to show you how Bitcoin has done this so many times in the past and stayed very, very bullish, right? Take a look at this. If I throw this on the log scale really quickly, right now we're looking at the 2017 rise when Bitcoin was at about $800 all the way up to $20,000. And you can see that multiple times Bitcoin managed to get roughly a 30 to 40% drop, usually about a 40% drop. Right here was about a 32% drop. Over here was a 38% drop. Over here was a 39% drop. We're seeing quite large drops between 30 and 40%. This one just nearly 30% consistently for Bitcoin, and still managing to stay bullish. Look, here's another one, minus 40%, right? And so 40% drops are just not that big of a deal for Bitcoin. And I think that we're really, and the reason that this is making me even more excited about the potential bullish case for Bitcoin right here, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure that everything is working fine, because the previous video didn't work out so well. I know my webcam's probably still a bit weird, but the video should be fine. And that's why I don't think that we are looking at a big Bitcoin bear market yet, is we just haven't crossed that 40% threshold. But people are so bearish right now, and you've seen it with the funding rates and so on. But here's the deal, I'm painting a very bullish image yet. Don't get your lotion out yet. This is not the time where you can start rubbing yourself off, because I'm going to have to kill the hype a little bit, as I said earlier on in this video. Because if you look at what's happening with this market right now, we have developed a lot of resistance overhead. And this is the exact same thing I was warning about a little bit earlier on in this video, when I was saying that if Bitcoin doesn't manage to get a bullish breakout now, we're probably going to see stronger and lower resistance, right? Whereas previously the resistance on this chart started at about $50,000 on the Ichimoku cloud. Now the resistance starts at about $47,500, which is only about $700 away from where we are right now. and it's a lot bigger in terms of a resistance range. So that makes it very, very problematic for Bitcoin. If you're wondering why I'm talking fast, it's because I really need to get going and the file corrupted, so I'm very pissed off about that. But this gives us a quite large resistance range, and the key issue that I'm seeing right here is that even if we don't, even if we manage to get here, the thing is that just before we get there, we're going to have even more resistance from the 4-hour EMA ribbon, right? If I show you this right here, just look at how this EMA ribbon lines up with the trend line offering Bitcoin a little bit of resistance right here. This EMA resistance is lining up with the trend line very, very well, showing us that Bitcoin is going to be in a pretty difficult position no matter what happens right now, in my opinion, because it's already starting to engage with a little bit of that resistance. And here's the deal, ladies and gents. I want to establish something very, very, very clearly with you guys right now, is that if we manage to get a breakout, I think that, first we'd have to break out all of the resistance right here and then all of the resistance overhead. But as soon as we break all of that resistance, which kind of stretches up to $50,000 right around over here, we're going to manage to get a breakout which would look very, very nice up above this level. And right here, we're going to find more resistance, this time on the daily time frame, right? Look at this. On the daily time frame, if I show you the EMA ribbon, look at exactly where the EMA ribbon is basically going to be drawing resistance on this chart. It's exactly within my circle that I already drew, which is to show you that even if Bitcoin breaks all the resistance on the 4-hour time frame, it's going to have even more resistance on the 1-day time frame. And there is a big confluence of bearish things going on at this price level, right? Look at this EMA ribbon. You can see that there's resistance over here. Look at the the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. We're printing a death cross right now, potentially relatively soon. And actually, if I change this up to show you the 100-day moving average, we're actually a lot closer to that death cross. Look at this. Let's just wait for this to update really quickly. Bam, right there. We're about to get that death cross potentially in 4 days on Christmas Day. How poetic. That is absolutely crazy. Showing us that the market it's got a lot of bearish things lining up at the very same time. And the reason that I want to point this out to you and make this very, very clear is just I want to establish something and make this very, very clear to you guys right now. We all know that people in this market are very desperate, right? Most people, it's just a fact of the market, are very, very desperate, right? And so what's going to happen right now is, and that, like, most likely, I'm really sorry to break it to you, but most likely that probably even includes you. Most people are just super desperate in these markets, and they let it string them along, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And so what's going to happen right here is, if we do manage to get this bullish breakout and we manage to break above all of our local resistance right here on the 4-hour time frame, right? We manage to get above this diagonal line, we manage to get above all the other resistance areas I was warning you guys about, people are going to get really bloody bullish again, right? We saw this because when the market managed to trend up to this level, and I had this resistance line drawn on this channel already, I was warning you guys that I'm still staying very cautious of Bitcoin because we saw a big jump up to this level, and this is a resistance level. You guys remember this. I was showing you this on this chart right here, where I was outlining exactly the same range. We knew that it would be resistance, but everyone else in the market was ignoring the obvious signs, where we managed to drop from 57k all the way down to 42, and we basically just formed a reaction rally, which I was warning you guys would end up breaking and falling back down. But nobody really wanted to heed that warning, or most people couldn't even see it at the time because they were just happy that Bitcoin managed to form this bounce up. And I was saying, look, this is a bearish thing because it's happening in a bearish market, and we're essentially getting that classic staircase step before potentially trending down again, which is exactly what we've done. And we have now obviously swept this low right here. And I think that's a really, really important thing to keep in mind, guys, because this is happening because the market is desperate, right? When we look, here's the thing, I need to make this very, very clear. The crypto market has a very low barrier to entry. This is a very important concept to understand, right? Because anybody can get into the crypto market, it's very easy, right? Like, there's no barrier of entry. It's very easy for essentially low quality traders. I know the webcam isn't working right now. For low quality traders who don't have a good amount of financial discipline, who just don't understand the market and can't control their emotions, to enter the market. And because of that, we have this crazy whiplash of emotions showing itself in the market, where we get these big swings to the upside and big swings to the downside, and that's why we get them. And so what we will have right here, I think, if Bitcoin manages to trend up to that 51, 53k level, which is exactly where the daily resistance lines up, is people finally starting to think, all right, maybe there is a chance I'm rich again. Maybe there's a chance that I can actually have these, yacht parties with topless, beautiful Russian models from Instagram and all the champagne bottles and so on, and the beautiful Ferraris, and that crazy, crazy lifestyle. Maybe I can actually get that if Bitcoin manages to rally up, because people get that hope so quickly, right? I mean, this is, the average Bitcoin trader is exactly as stupid as the idiot that gets cheated on with their girlfriend that they've been with for 3 years. And the girlfriend just sends them a text saying, hey, I really regret it. I miss you. I want to get back together. And the guy takes her back. That's what's happening to the idiot that's getting bullish on Bitcoin right here. It's just that in one level, it's an emotional mistake. And on the other level, in this market, it's a financial mistake. It's the same damn thing happening. And I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind, because Bitcoin can do exactly that again. And it would be leading us all into a perfect trap yet again, which would actually, by the way, if Bitcoin did manage to do this, if it managed to rise up to this level, which is where that daily resistance lines up, we would be looking at a potential double top. So that would be potentially very, very disastrous. And of course, we will then at that point be able to question, well, maybe we're just going to be in a nice bull market, and I'll talk about the analysis at that point if it happens. There's too many things to happen before that, so I can't really draw a conclusion on it. Or perhaps we just kind of continue trending down. I don't want to make a conclusion on that just yet. And so that's the kind of bullish perspective that I wanted to outline for you guys. And then the bearish perspective that I also want to make very clear to you guys is that if Bitcoin does actually use this as a continuation pattern and it ends up breaking down, well, then I think it's going to have to find support in the low $40,000 range, and that looks like either the 44K level, which I've been outlining for quite a while, or the 42 to 40K level. If we manage to break either of these, then I think we're dropping even lower, but it's too early to talk about that right now because we haven't even done it yet. But I am looking at support at those two price levels. I certainly hope that we're not going to drop below these levels, and I definitely don't think we will either. I just think the probability is so low. I mean, usually we have a higher probability of breaking up from these kind of patterns than we do of breaking down, and so that's what I'm anticipating right now. But if we do manage to break down, like I said, this is where I anticipate those drops to stop, and where we might find a little bit of support. And yeah, I definitely think we could be looking at a very explosive rally if we do drop down to these levels, because it's been so long that Bitcoin, this is the key thing I want you guys to really understand right now, is that it's been so long that Bitcoin has been trending down, not only in terms of time now, it's been 40 days straight. We just haven't had a meaningful reaction rally, and we've dropped down by huge percentage amounts. It just makes sense to me that Bitcoin has a reaction rally. I say it on the way up, we need to correct. I was saying it all the way on the way up. Those of you who are watching the YouTube channel, you're going to know all about this. I was the only motherfucker talking about how I think Bitcoin needs to pause and Bitcoin needs to have a break before it continues rising up back up, because it's not healthy. And of course, nobody wanted to listen to me at that time, and I'm saying the same thing in the exact reverse right now. This is the epitome of analysis that you find which is not biased. This is me staying as objective as I can possibly be, and you're seeing the result of it right now. I'm saying the exact same stuff when we're trading down that I was saying when we're trading up. I wasn't saying that Bitcoin needs to trade in a bear market. I was saying that Bitcoin just needs to pause, just needs to trade sideways and then move again. The fact that we didn't is why we're having such a strong drop right now, and I think that we all ought to keep that stuff in mind. So there you go, guys. I've broken down the upside for you very clearly. I've broken down the downside for you very clearly, and hopefully I have demystified these charts a little bit so that you understand exactly what's going on with a little bit more precision. If you do appreciate this analysis and you want to see more of what I'm doing, you want to learn how to actually trade, guys, we've transformed so many people who, already know how to trade but want to take their trading up to the next level. People who don't even understand some of the content I cover in these videos, but want to learn everything from the ground up the way I do it. All skill levels, we've got something for you. Just reach out to us by following these steps on screen. First link in the description down below. That's going to take you to my free Telegram channel where I give you even more analysis completely free of charge on the Telegram, and then click on the @4flies button and then send message to ask me how to join 4flies VIP, and I'll give you all of that information right there. If I don't respond to you, one of the members of my team will get back to you within like 10 minutes. We're very, very quick. And of course, that Bybit bonus is still waiting for you, right? I mean, all you got to do is check out that link in the description down below, sign up, make your first deposit. The whole thing will take you less than 10 minutes, and you're going to get free money for it. So your first Bitcoin deposit will get credited with some extra cash on top. And if that sounds like a good deal to you, all you got to do is sign up, and that is a time-limited offer. So if you don't take it now, it might not be there. Well, definitely won't be there later on. So definitely take advantage of it. But with that, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. You know what to do. Hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.